My onboarding process used to feel slightly off. Clients weren't exactly ghosting me, but they weren't ecstatic to work with me either. And then I changed one thing, and it made a big difference. Now clients feel supported from the moment they start working with me, and I also don't run around like a crazy person the moment I get a new client. Welcome back to my series where I am improving my small business as I scale and learn. In the last few videos, we were improving my content creation system and workflow and initial client touchpoints, but today we are fixing onboarding. I'll walk you through what wasn't working, what I fixed, and how I made sure that clients felt cared for and confident in my services from the moment they signed the contract. So what does my current onboarding journey look like for a client? The main thing is they accept a proposal and the quote, and then I set up a client dashboard in Notion. I also then have a client hub that will be there for the client to interact with, and that's also set up in Notion. I then record a little personalized client hub video for the client so they know what is going on. And sometimes you get clients who don't know how to use Notion. So it's just nice to give them a little walkthrough what each part of the client hub is meant to do. Then I have some client onboarding docs where I have a template and I update the template with all their personalized link to their client hub. Obviously put information there for their name, for their project, for the scope of work we discussed in the proposal. I also add important documents in there so they always have access to the invoices, they always have access to the contracts, the proposal document, the onboarding documents, everything is there so they can see all the legal documents and sign things whenever they feel like it. Then I write a little email with all the onboarding info, so I give them the links, the docs and everything. And then I have an onboarding questionnaire that is in my client hub, and I want to make it clear that clients should actually fill this in from the beginning because I need to evaluate this questionnaire to give them the best service possible because it's all about their company, what their goals are and so forth. So I really need this to be one of the first things they do, and I'm not making that clear. So I'm causing a lot of friction for them and for myself because I'm not making it clear what they should do first and I'm not getting the information I need. But this is basically the client journey and this is what we're trying to improve. So the main problem is this. This is what was happening before. I had an email with all the documents. I had an email with a link to the onboarding questionnaire, the contracts, the invoices, you name it. Basically multiple emails instead of just making it one email with everything. Or if I made it one email, it was basically this email just filled with links, no clear steps. And I think that's just very overwhelming for the client. And I'm creating a lot of friction because they need to be keeping track of what they need to do. Step 1, step 2, step 3. That is actually supposed to be for me, especially if I look at the clients I am targeting. I'm a digital business manager. So the clients I'm trying to help already are overwhelmed. I should not be adding to that. So I'm making a big mistake if I think this is going to be a good idea. And if I'm reducing friction like I promise I should be doing, this is not the way to go. And I think that's something I'm learning a lot. You need to always look at things from your client's perspective. So what do we have now? So the main thing now is that I have a lovely email template, of course, to send to my clients. And I just give them 2 pieces of information in this. I basically tell them that they have their onboarding docs here. And then I give them an invoice to pay my deposit because I don't work unless the contract is signed and the deposit is paid. The other thing I basically give them is access to the client hub immediately. So 2 pieces of information in one email, and that's it. That's the only email they get regarding onboarding unless they have any questions. So this should reduce a lot of overwhelm. The other thing I do is that I tell them the first 2 things I really need them to do, which is 1, try to access the Notion hub and let me know if they have any problems, because without the hub, they lose out a lot of information. And that is basically the central hub for us to work from. And then they need to fill out this onboarding questionnaire for me so I can help them and their business as soon as possible. And that's it. So I basically give them 2 tasks to do immediately and I give them 2 pieces of information. And I think that is reducing the overwhelm quite a lot. And obviously, as I mentioned, this is a template, so I reduce my work every time. I just have to fill this in and give the right links and attach the correct documents. The other thing I mentioned is this client hub I created, and this helps the client a lot because it reduces overwhelm. It makes them see everything in one place and it gives them a clear to-do list so they know what to do. And it really gives the client full transparency because I give them the share documents. So this will be all the contracts, the invoices, our proposal, the onboarding doc. And also for the contract, what I've done now is I actually recommend a tool for them to sign everything digitally because I realize a lot of clients actually struggle to sign contracts online or digitally because they just sometimes type their name in the contract, and I would prefer a digital signature at least to make the contract more valid or legal. But otherwise, I give them all the invoices here, and I give them the proposal and the onboarding doc again. Even though these should all be in their emails, it's just nice to give it to them once more so there's full transparency and they know where to find everything. I also have my to-dos. So most of the time I actually integrate into the client's system, but sometimes they are really new or there's a lot of transformation happening in their business. So when we have weekly meetings, sometimes I just dump my to-do list here for them to see what I'm going to do for their business for that week. Otherwise, I am like acting as a project manager or a team lead or something, and I actually work within their systems like ClickUp or Asana or Trello or whatever they prefer. But this is just nice for me and for them to see what's happening, especially maybe during the first few weeks if I'm not in their system yet. And then I have important dates. So that would look like my holidays, my working hours, when I'm available, when I'm not. And it's just good for them to see what my availability is. And usually in the Client Hub, I obviously have to personalize this whenever I get a new client. And then I link everything. So I basically film a Client Hub video once I update it for my clients. So it's personalized, because obviously I could make it quite generic, but I don't really want to, because I want clients to feel cared for and that I'm there for them and their business. I don't want to make it very generic. Then I give them a link to the onboarding questionnaire, and then they need to fill this in here. And this is actually a Notion form, so everything goes to a little Notion table basically, or database, and I can evaluate everything for every client. And then I also link their onboarding document, which would be in their shared documents as well, but I just put it here to make sure that they can read it and easily tick it off their to-do list. And then I always ask them to send me a little message in the chat. So again, I would update this, but then I just ask them to send me a message. But normally we don't actually use this, especially if clients have Slack. And that's pretty much the Client Hub. And this is really great because it smooths out the process for clients. And I've sensed that this reduces client frustration. They know what is expected of them, they know where to find everything, and it makes it a lot easier. And the impact of all these small changes are that it reduces client friction and overwhelm and mental load. Everything is there for them to do. They can see it easily and they don't have to think about it too much. It also reduces frustration. They don't have to go search through their emails and feel like there's 10 other things on their to-do list. It's 4 easy steps, things they can do. And the last thing is that it also increases client retention rate and the probability of them sticking around after your trial period, or just sticking around or referring you to other people. Because if they feel like you know what you're doing from the moment they start working with you and it's not all over the place, they are probably going to feel okay about your services. You want clients to feel good. Like, they might not remember everything you say, but they will probably remember how you made them feel and if it was a sticky or iffy onboarding process. And people remember bad experiences way more than they remember all the good you did. So you want to make a good first impression. And the last thing is, if you are doing all of this to make things easy for your clients, you obviously want to do this for yourself as well as a business owner, because onboarding, especially if you have a high volume of it, can take a lot of time. So I created a client dashboard for myself. So I have their primary contact person, because sometimes I'm working with somebody who already has a business and the CEO will interview me, but they actually have other people they want me to talk to after the first discovery call has been completed. I have an email, their website, their phone numbers, payment statuses, primary method of contacting them, project type, because in the past I did some service swaps. I also did trial tasks. I did retainers versus hourly rates. So it's just the easy way for me to keep track of what my commitment is to this client without me going back to proposals and so forth. The time zones that they work in, because sometimes I need to schedule meetings and I need to remember people aren't in my time zone. Their birthday, because I like to celebrate people's birthdays with them. The hours I need to work for them per month, and their mailing address, because again, birthdays, and their referral codes. Also, mailing addresses are important for legal things, just as a heads up. So whenever I get a new client, this is basically what I set up. So even if I win the client or not, whenever I even get a discovery call, this is created for the client. So this makes sure that I don't have to keep remembering what I need to do and I don't miss a step. So every single client gets the same experience. And it also just takes away from my mental load, because there's a lot to do always. So that's pretty much all there is. And this has helped me a lot. It has helped me so much to reduce my own mental load, to make sure that I know what's going on, that I do not have to keep forgetting what I need to do for every single client. And it reduces my own frustration as well. And as I said, I am learning how to improve this as I go along. So I will probably edit this dashboard quite a few times, or I would eventually automate it. There's a lot of tools out there that you can automate this. It's just that my level of client intake at the moment is not that large that I can't handle this myself. But if people have a bigger business, I definitely suggest automating this or giving it to a VA or somebody so that you do what you are meant to do, like helping clients instead of repetitive tasks. So the main takeaway from this video is that client trust really starts with clarity, and if they feel supported and taken care of from the moment they start working with you. And I feel that if you want your clients to feel supported from the moment they start working with you, you shouldn't let them dig around for information, you shouldn't overwhelm them, and you need to give them one clear place where everything will live. If you like this video, I really think you will like the previous video I made about client touchpoints, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!